What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. So, y'all saw the thumbnail. Paulie Malanagi said Gervonta Tank Davis has some biatch inside of him. Now, let me look at this from the same perspective I've been giving you guys for a while now. I don't think Tank Davis fought a bad fight. I don't think he had a bad night. I think Lamont Roach was just better than he understood. He looked at, okay, this dude was a champ at 130 or whatever. You know, he has a name. No, he didn't really have a name, but not a big name. But there was respect towards Lamont Roach for being a good fighter. But even the people that respected him as a good fighter, if you had 20 people saying talking about Lamont Roach, his chances against Tank, man, you probably had two that was saying, I think it might be a good fight. But ultimately they all thought at some point, no matter how good the fight is, Tank's gonna beat him eventually. And they said that they thought it was gonna look a lot like the Frank Martin fight. Now, here's the thing. I think Tank fought a good fight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and critique what he should have been doing more of or what Lamont Roach should have been doing more of. The fight went the way it went, okay? But this was a cherry pick that went wrong. Now, when you say Tank got some bitch in him, this motherfucker slapping his ass and slapping his hips and dancing all weird and doing a bunch of zesty shit, hey. Now, in terms of the fight itself, I don't think he fought like a bitch. I think, like I said, he just fought a guy that came to fight. And I told you, the biggest problem Lamont Roach has is he doesn't have a name. So people are looking at this shit like, he fighting this motherfucker. But, yes, in my opinion, Keyshawn Davis is a better fighter. In my opinion, Shakur Stevens is a better fighter than Lamont Roach. Jamel Herring is a better fighter because he beat Lamont Roach. But what I'm saying, as far as the way people see things, the way people are, trying to twist the story around, it's what he did. He lied about it. He made a bitch ass excuse. He took a knee regardless. He did. The whole thing was he took the knee, and really it was the referee's fault what happened, because he was able to talk the referee into not counting that shit as a knockdown, and then he was supported on that. Okay, WBA goes, well, we don't see it as an okay, whatever. All right, so. Here's what now, Paulie Malanagi has his favorites. He has people he won't say certain things about. We know that. And in terms of him saying that he got some bitch in him, let me say it like this, man. Y'all know I talked about this already. Tank Davis using Floyd Mayweather as an excuse. Tank Davis fans using Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe as an excuse as to why fights didn't happen between him and Lomachenko and all of that, right? Now, y'all remember Floyd was saying that they're trying to get this fight between him and Lomachenko to happen, right? Now, the reality is, when Tank Davis is saying Floyd tried to shut him up because he thought I was messing with his daughter and this and that, you think he tried to set you up because you were 16-0 and he wanted you to fight. What was the dude's name? Forgot the guy's name. But anyway, he wound up beating the guy. Okay, and the whole thing about it is, you become a champion, you win the fight. Like I said, Floyd had more belief in Tank than Tank had in himself. Floyd could see. Why you think when Floyd, think about it. Floyd is in Tank's corner, screaming out things for him to do. And people talking this shit about, oh man, but Calvin Borders is straight. Yeah, whatever. But at the same time, when Tank goes in there and does what Floyd is saying, guess what happens? All of a sudden, he goes in there and get the job done, right? And that's what you want, the result. Okay, so for Tank Davis, him even admitting there's certain fights he was nervous about. So, yeah, I told you, fighters try to act real extra cocky, extra confident, like they're not worried about losing. And the thing is, how do you treat... This is the deflection. The deflection is, let me try to talk about Lomachenko or somebody else talking about, or Loma talking about Tank Davis, or any fighter talking about another top level fighter as if it's just another fight. We heard Usyk say the same things. Tyson Fury say the same thing about Usyk, like it's nothing special about him, called him a middleweight, like all of these different things. But he ends up saying something completely different after the fight. Why? Because now he's in a position where, man, you talked all of this shit, called the man a middleweight, he's not a real heavyweight, was calling him a foreigner, just being disrespectful, saying a bunch of goofy stuff about him. Well, all of those things that were said, right? Look at the way the fight went. And now in the rematch, he says, well, it's obvious, he didn't get to where he is by luck, he's a special fighter. Now you have to admit it. Because now it's like, well, damn, you said all these things, Fury. If this dude is what you said, how'd you lose to him? You understand what I'm saying? So, same thing. Tank Davis right now is in a position where he just has to fight the rematch and go in there and do his thing, get the job done. So either he's going to win or lose. Now, as far as him not being a confident guy, I can go with that. And like I said, he has done some shit that was bitch made, yeah. But as far as Paulie saying he has bitch in him in terms of it, well, put it like this: if Paulie is saying it based on the fact that the fight went the way it went, I don't really see that. I like why he's saying that, but at the same time, because Lamont Roach, like I said, is a better fighter than people gave him credit for. But I do understand where Paulie's coming from in terms of Tank Davis not being as confident as his words, and trying to use that as an excuse to not fight certain guys and fighting a certain level of guys, and being able to sustain that because he became a big household name because of the way he knocked people out, and people just start thinking, okay, he can just knock out anybody. But he knows how to play this monopoly. And pretty much, Floyd was trying to, hey, look, man, I'm trying. See, people was blaming Floyd and Leonard Ellaby. And I kept saying, man, y'all keep acting like Tank is some fucking baby. Y'all keep acting like Tank can't make his own decisions. First, y'all saying it was Floyd. But then, at the same time, now, out of Gervonta's own mouth, him talking about these guys got to prove they deserve a fight with me and having no interest in fighting these guys. Can't blame Floyd in them. You can say what you want to say, but this is Tank rejecting fights, not Floyd, not Leonard Ellaby. This is Tank rejecting fights. You understand what I'm saying? And Leonard Ellaby's cover-up is only Tank can make an offer. Nobody can make Tank an offer. Tank make all offer. Okay, so then, who are you making offers to? And it's obvious that, like they were, trying to finally get this fight done with Lomachenko, right? Now, what if Lomachenko feel like he saw something in Tank that make him feel like he want to fight Tank now, and come back and, because who is Lomachenko going to come back and fight that we even care about if it's not going to be Tank Shakur or a Keyshawn Davis? Who? So man, it's like fanboys don't see the camouflage, but he definitely camouflaged this shit, and he did it in a way where, like I said, the excitement made people start to, because Tank, I remember Tank was getting a lot of heat. He ain't fighting nobody. Tank is he fighting these C-class dudes, man. All right, he fighting C+ dudes, B- dudes. He's not fighting B+ and A+ dudes. He's that type of thing. But he kept knocking people out. And Tank knows what he's doing there. Tank knows how to fight. But confidence, that can be an issue. And I feel like it was an issue. Bitch-made stuff, yeah, he did some bitch-made shit. So, yeah, man. As much as I don't give a fuck about Paulie, yeah, I'm not going to... I myself have said the same thing. I see a lot of bitchy shit, man. See, it's like this, right? Imagine a prime Mike Tyson and a prime Larry Holmes. Now imagine if Mike Tyson could make $20 million fighting Larry Holmes. But let's say he could also make $20 million fighting Trevor Berbick, and he chooses Trevor Berbick instead. Would you not say he took the easy route? So this is what I'm saying. And he could say, yeah, but Trevor Berbick had a belt. What if Larry Holmes had a belt too? And what if Mike didn't want to, become undisputed? Then what do you call that? You see what I'm saying? Tank Davis is saying he don't care about belts. He don't care about none of that. He don't care how people view him. His whole thing is just to get in, get his money, and get out. Which also means he has a fear of losing. Because if he does, that derails his plans to keep going forward with the bigger money. How long can I do this? How long do I need to do this? Have I made enough money to walk away yet? See, all those type of things you got to understand. So when he's saying he could have knocked Lamont Roach out, he could have stopped him, based on what? What did you see in there that makes you think that Tank is telling the truth when he says that? You see what I'm saying? I could have stopped, but it wasn't nothing he did. It was me. Nah. Well, exactly. Excuses. So, I don't know exactly the contents that Paulie was saying. I mean, well, I do know because he was saying, I do know. He was saying that Tank Davis is not fighting the very top guys and all that. But he can kill that Lomachenko bullshit because Lomachenko also ducked him. So they took, like I said, they took turns ducking each other. So he can kill that shit. But, and I say that because that's the motherfucker who him and everybody else wanted to put, like, nobody wants to fight Loma and all that bullshit. But whatever, man. Yeah, man. Me saying what I said about Tank was before he fought Lamont Roach. And then after he fought Lamont Roach. But in terms of, Tank not wanting to fight the very top dudes, you can't beat guys that's hungrier than you are and that refuse to lose and doesn't have setbacks, things that they're hiding behind to not go forward. When you yourself are in a position of, I can make these fights happen, but I don't need to because I'm still going to make big money. So, yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah. Y'all can watch Paulie's interview, whatever y'all want. That's on, y'all thing or whatever. I just happen to see that shit and I'm watching the shit. And I listen to him and I'm saying, he made some points about Tank. But these are things I've been saying already. Like I told you guys, man, it's something about a lot of people, man, that some of us can tell you something and y'all hear it, but then somebody else co-sit and they're like, yo, you was right. Like, motherfucker, I'm not right because Paulie said some of the same shit I said. I'm right based on the facts of what I see. That's the fuck I make. But yeah, I thought this shit was kind of funny, man, because I said, wow, now he's being called a bitch. He got some bitch in him by Paulie Malanagi of all people, but it is what it is, man. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.